With artificial intelligence here, I can see a day where you won't go to an article to learn something. You're going to ask better questions of an AI model trained specifically in an area that you need, and it will simply just teach you. I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations. So I have a way of thinking that's different, and I can see things that often help me forecast what's going to go on in the future, not because I'm special or I have very a unique set of intelligence. It's because I know how to ask great questions, not only of myself, but of the world around me. And so, in a world where you can train an artificial intelligence model on the world's knowledge, so you could take an encyclopedia set and train an AI model on that encyclopedia set, and then ask it a question in your own language and get back an answer, not necessarily the best answer, but an answer. We're in a world where articles aren't going to matter anymore, where podcasts aren't going to matter anymore. People's thoughts are going to be um, driven by artificial models. Now, not because people are smart and the artificial models are smart and together we're going to, be even smarter. It's because people are kind of lazy. And why would you want to read a whole book on something when you could just ask the question of the AI model? I get asked questions all the time about stuff that's on my website, and simply have an assistant look up what's on the website, answer the question, give them a link to the location, and they're very happy. And so it's not that they're lazy necessarily, but maybe they are so busy that they didn't think to look at the site, or maybe they've got other things going on, or whatever. In a world where artificial intelligence can be trained on literally anything and have an entry level proficiency, we don't need entry level content anymore. Now, here's the problem: it takes individual initiative to go ask the question. It takes a well formed and qualified question to get a relevant answer. And being that the artificial intelligence machines are going to tell us an answer, not necessarily the right answer, we need to be sure that we can have the critical thinking necessary to evaluate that response and actually use it to get results. So, while artificial intelligence changes everything, it actually changes nothing. There's always been access to intelligent people and intelligent resources, but people don't ask the right questions, so they don't get what they want. So, here are 5 tips to ask better questions, whether you're asking an AI machine, whether you're asking me, whether you're asking it of your staff. These methods will help you be more influential, to help you find answers that are legitimate and usable, and then ultimately get the results that you're looking for. And interesting enough, these are in the form of questions. So we're going to question the questions, things to consider before you ask a question. Anyway, number one, what is the specific problem I'm trying to solve for? And then you want to think about a target audience. What is the specific problem I want to solve for to achieve this sales outcome? What's a specific problem I want to solve for to achieve this, wellness outcome? Now, this is very important because it has to be you have to be overcoming a problem. Now, we talk about in other episodes about writing a problem statement and then looking at a root cause analysis. These are things you do before you ask the question, because very often you can identify the problem and sometimes you'll find a solution, because every solution there tends to be every problem there tends to be a solution. The truth is, with consultants, sometimes every solution set tends to be a problem, but I digress. Number two, what is the unique knowledge or expertise do you bring to this problem that other people do not? Okay, so this is important. You're going to ask better questions, but you're going to ask from the context of your existing expertise so that you get a response that you can work with, kind of incrementally improve yourself. So if you want to know how fusion reactors work, you don't want them to explain the answer in science terms if you're not a scientist. You want them to explain it in a way that you can actually apply it towards the specific problem you're trying to solve for. Number three, how can you differentiate? So we're talking about now using the answer. How can you differentiate that answer in the marketplace as a solution to a customer? Because yeah, you can solve your own problems, but a lot of the problems I get asked is, how do we increase sales? We don't have enough sales. Well, Is it that you don't have enough sales or you don't have enough profits? Is it top line versus bottom line? See, you have to think about how are we going to use this information? Now, if that information or insight, maybe you've got an AI model that you've trained on your products and services, or that you, or a group of researchers in your business, and you want to ask them questions. You want to find out, what's the practicality of the response? What can we do with it? Now, you also want to think about what's the most efficient modality to receive that answer. So you could chat with an AI, you could chat with a human, you could chat with a human using an AI. The key is are you going to be able to take this information? Now, a lot of times what I find out, a lot of my reports are really long and they're detailed. And I try to write them so that they can be reference material rather than you have to read beginning to end. But that's not the best modality for everybody. I will record it in a podcast and get the same materials down to a 15-minute little chunk. And a lot of people find that more useful than reading a manual that has similar information but is maybe more descriptive. So again, you're going to ask a question, solving a specific problem. You're going to think about the context of where you are and what takes you to the next step. You're going to figure out how we can use that answer, but then we want to receive that answer in a way that's useful. For a lot of my clients, the coaching program is the best for them. They pay a monthly fee. We chat once a week, or we have a group training session once a month, but then you can schedule like a once a week or every other week to sit down and talk about your specific challenges. A lot of folks tell me the group is a lot better for them because they can hear the questions other people have. Some people want to hear other people's questions, but they don't want to have a conversation. So what I need to do is differentiate between the different modalities of my subscribers or my clients and deliver what they're looking for. So what's that in the context of your business? So you can just ask questions like a kid with no real purpose, but when you're asking with purpose, again, how do we deliver that and how do we receive that so that we maximize communications? Number 5 is what are you willing to invest? So a lot of these AI systems, the generic Chat GPT, for example, it will give you an answer. It gives you a patterned answer. It gives you an answer based on its limited body of knowledge, and that's good enough for a lot of people. But when you were talking about application, very often you need to have that answer both in the context of your understanding, the context of a marketplace, the context of actually being able to implement it, and then finally the answer needs to be in a format that's relevant. Now, in the case of what I deliver to coaching clients or private clients, some private clients want a written technical document. Some want an executive summary. Some want a presentation that we do that's 15 or 20 minutes. Some want a 90-minute in-depth presentation with Q&A afterwards. See, all of that could answer the same question. And so we have to be clear. So now we're phrasing our questions. We're asking useful questions that serve our specific need. Now it doesn't matter if we have AI. Now it doesn't matter if you've hired an expert. Now it doesn't matter if you're searching the internet. You're going to be able to deliver the context necessary to actually use the answer. Now, does AI have benefits over searching the internet? It certainly does. However, when you're searching the internet, you can find more credible sources. Now, does AI have benefits over a coaching program or some kind of expert advice, hiring a consultant? I think it does in some cases, but in the majority of the cases, the adaptivity of your consultant, the adaptivity of your expert is going to be much better. So, what I'm suggesting with artificial intelligence is that you find the balance and the specialty in which you use it. So, maybe you're going to use it for research. Maybe you're going to use it for validating information. We use artificial intelligence and machine learning in marketing for measuring campaigns and then finding uh, the contextual relevance between campaigns so that we can generate ideas on what customers want. So, but I'm in a publishing business. In a risk management world, we might use machine learning to test things, or not even artificial intelligence or machine learning, but basically looking at the completeness of a data set. So, if you have controls and they have certain due dates and things, it's almost like a automated spreadsheet. we can now make better decisions because we can focus time, resource, and effort on specific activities. These are the critical thinking skills that I'll continue to teach with Inside Strategic Relations, because when you can ask great questions, you can solicit or obtain information from individuals or some AI or books. You can ask questions before you read a book. That's very useful. If you know how to evaluate the information, you can know whether or not the machine is lying to you. There have been cases where artificial intelligence response is very biased. Now, again, if you're training it with biased data, it'll be biased. If you train it with biased users, it'll be biased. The artificial intelligence system does not know what it's giving you back as an answer. It knows that that's the best available combination of things based on what it's been trained, but it doesn't know what it's saying to you because it can't interrogate you and consult and do those other details. Now, maybe in the future it will, but it doesn't do it right now. So again, if you ask a bad question, it'll give you an answer, but it'll give you a horrible answer. And if you don't have a basis of knowledge in what you're asking, you won't be able to evaluate the answer. So a lot of times what I do, because consultants are a dime a dozen, everybody's claiming to be a consultant. In what I do, I always provide a answer pair. So I provide an answer and then how the end user can know the answer is correct. So if I'm writing a marketing campaign for somebody, I'll say, okay, here's 2 sales letters, and then here's a method for testing one sales letter against the other. That way you'll know which one's better, because I think they're both great. But do you see where we're coming from here? So artificial intelligence does change the game because we can train it for specialized information. So if you have an in-house model, yes, you can train it to do certain specific work. It's going to eliminate a lot of jobs. It's going to eliminate a lot of entry-level jobs and maybe in the future some high-level jobs. However, it will always give you an answer that it has some confidence in, but it doesn't really know, it can't further evaluate what's going on. So it's really up to you whether or not you use the answer. But if you ask the question in the framework of problem and root cause, if you ask questions that the machine is really good at answering, so like factual questions, um, that if you ask for the capital of a country, it's programmatic. It can look up that information. But if you ask why, what's the emotional reasons that a certain capital is in place? What's the political reasons a certain capital is in place? It's not going to be able to answer that as easily unless somebody's written about it in the past. But again, whether you're getting information from a human or you're getting information from a machine, you have to know how to evaluate the information. Like a lot of folks will listen to this podcast and they'll say, "Oh, Justin, what you talk about is too complex," and I'll say, "Well, no, this is the simplest form. That's why it's in a podcast. It's the simplest form. Here's what you need to know to evaluate it." And then once they have that little bit of information, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can use this right away." The next time I ask a question, I can think about the problem that I'm trying to solve for before I ask the question. I can think about the audience in which needs the answer. I can think about how we're going to build on existing knowledge rather than try to gain new knowledge. I can differentiate with what I do by looking at the application of the response. I can make sure that I'm getting the response in a channel that's appropriate to me. Do you really want to sit there and interrogate an AI model for a couple hours, or would you rather go through an assessment with a consultant who will then turn around and give you an answer? Now, you can also build assessments or prompts that are better for the AI models. And I know there's a lot of people talking about how to write better prompts, but it really is based on asking useful questions. One of the biggest disappointments I've seen is the AI comes out, ChatGPT is free, Google Lambda is free. A lot of these platforms are free to try, and people ask it to write rap songs. They ask it to write poems. They ask it to write all this stuff that's not really, it can't be critically evaluated whether a rap song or a poem is good. It might be a short-term humor, it might be interesting, it might be a new meme, but it doesn't advance the person asking the question. So that's what I want to leave you with here today is we ask questions to reveal information. We want to reveal information that gives us influence and control over our environment or helps us improve individually so that we can better understand the world. We can build on this context by asking great questions, but we also need to ask the questions of ourselves. Why are we here? What are we doing? What do I want? How do I achieve it? And then finally, um, are we doing it in an effective way that we're not wasting a lot of time, or that we're getting that critical evaluation? So, for example, when people ask me big questions, so over the years, people ask me big questions, and people ask the same questions different ways. I write up a report that has a plan in it. So, for example, my latest book, Establish Instant Credibility, I think I started it in 2005, working with clients, basically on positioning and social influence, and it is now a plan on how to do this rather than just answering the question. If you want to establish instant credibility, you'll be more credible. Well, what does that mean? Okay, so I develop a plan for them to be more credible based on past experiences. It's the questions that matter. Even asking what mistakes are my, if you're not getting the results you want, you can ask yourself, well, what mistakes am I making? And that'll help you. Anyway, if you want specific coaching on asking better questions, if you want to see ways of asking better questions, or you just have a question that you'd like to have answered, I'm Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations. You can go to www.insidestrategicrelations.com and just simply ask your questions on the contact page, or you can join our newsletter for more insights and tips for high income professionals and entrepreneurs who want to gain better influence by transforming business relationships into profits. Well, you're in the right place. Again, I'm Justin Hitt, and this is the Inside Strategic Relations newsletter. I'll see you in the next episode.